Kartra, they've introduced webinars to the Kartra platform. If you're on the silver plan, you have one presenter, the limit of 500 attendees, and your presentation can be 1 hour long. If you're on a gold plan with Kartra, you can have two presenters, 1,000 attendees, and your presentation can be 2 hours long. Platinum is 4 presenters, 2,000 attendees, and 3 hours of presentation time. And Diamond is 6 presenters, 5,000 attendees, and 4 hours of presentation time. So when you go to build a webinar, you're going to start in the webinars component and hit this blue button on the far right-hand side to create a webinar. And we're going to name your webinar while you're doing this. This is internal. This is just for you. You can go through the quick and easy configuration, but for this demonstration, we are going to use the advanced configuration and talk about all of the options when you're building out your webinar. You have the ability to choose whether you want this to be available right now. So we're going to start and build this right now and get it right out of the gate. The always on option is available for you to use, and it's always there, so you can always pop into, or the one that I feel will be the most utilized feature will be the scheduled webinar. This will be good for things like planning info sessions or running webinars or master classes or anything where you would want to do something scheduled, promote it for people to sign up, and then deliver it live in the future. So we're going to use the scheduled one as our example in this demonstration. All right, so we're going to go through this entire builder and work through each component independently. So the webinar title is the title of the webinar, webinar title. And then your webinar description, these are short spaces, so keep it really sweet and very concise. We'll see when we look at it in a live model where that shows up. Since I have a silver plan for my Kartra account, I don't have any options to add any additional presenters to my program, but if I wanted to edit my information, I can do that over here by clicking on the pencil first and then editing the information and the image. Maybe I wanted a different image. Maybe it's someone else on my team doing the presentation for me that day. Once you're done with the settings, go ahead and hit save on those and hit save and next to move on. All right, in our next session, we are looking at our scheduling abilities for our sessions. Single session is it's one and done. You can have multiple sessions available, but what your people will register for is only one. So let's say you're offering a live mini session that you plan on selling your full paid coaching program. And you're going to offer a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday class at 3 different times to accommodate different people's schedule. You would choose one single session and then add those 3 sessions underneath. And you would do something like choose one single session, and then we're going to do the first one on the 31st at 9 a.m. We're going to do the second one on Wednesday that's 3 a.m. let's do noon. And then our third one will be August 4th at 6:30. So we have those components already set and configured. If you were doing multiple sessions, this allows your user to register to all of them. So this would be something like if you were running a 5-day challenge and you wanted people to be registered to all of them in the challenge, you would come through and say, we're going to do Monday at 9, we're going to do Tuesday at 9, we're going to do Wednesday at 9. You get the idea. And then when people register, they're registered for all of those sessions. Perfect. The recurring series of sessions will display and register people for a recurring number of daily or weekly sessions, and they will register for the entire session. Something like this would be like a live coaching program that you're going to do. Let's do recurring series of sessions, and we're going to do Tuesday sessions at 9 a.m. for a limited time, and these are going to be 12 weeks because we see 12-week sessions often. So this is every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and they get 12 sessions with their program. All right, time zone conversion lets you choose if you want people to be able to choose their time zone or if you want to have it predefined. For most cases here, you will choose your respective time, let them choose their respective time zones. The only time I really think using a predefined time zone would be if you were doing something super hyper local and you didn't have an international audience or people that might be coming from different involved. All right, on the registration section, you can choose if this event is free or if this is paid for. If it's free, they'll just complete the simple opt-in form, and you can choose what information you're collecting when they register. You should at least be collecting first, last name, and email. These are all mandatory fields and can't be removed from the setting. And then if you wanted to collect like phone number or where are you in your growth of your business, you can add that field and you can use any of the existing fields, or you can create a new custom field here as well. If you want the session to be paid, you would need to have a product configured already and then connect it to the webinar. The note here is that you might want to have a completely separate product to avoid crossing any wires that might not be necessary to do here. Make the best decision for you and your business. So the registration message is pulling from that first screen that we entered. This is our webinar title and our webinar description. And then the success message will show after people register. So you can choose to have a confirmation message. It will just pop right up on the screen with the message that you want to include, or you can redirect it to a page either on your website or already in Kartra, where you can have more customization options and more ability within the system. Save these components, and then we can move into notification. All right, in notifications, you can choose whether you want to send emails after people. In notifications, you have the ability to determine whether you want the webinar component to send the reminders and confirmations. If you want these to be a little more customized, you can do them in broadcasts and sequences as a combined effort, or you can just do this really easily right from within the message. The advantage to keeping these within the message is that you're going to have a little more customization options and dynamic fields that are not available in emails and email sequences and email broadcasts. You're going to have those available in webinars. So I do want to communicate with our audience, and then you have choices for each one. Do you want to send a booking confirmation? Yes or no? I would always send a booking confirmation. Once you click into this message, you are able to adjust this message. This is the default information, your webinar link. Congratulations, your webinar is confirmed. Here's a quick summary. Title, presenter, date, time. And here's the link. See you at the webinar and a link to add to calendar. You have all of these dynamic fields on the left that you're able to include. And then you also have these dynamic fields that are unique to this component. Customize as you wish. Before and after reminders, you can set up to 5 reminders that go out before or after your event, and you program them independently. So this communication would go 1 hour before the session. Here's the information. This is on here twice. You might want to change that down to just once. And then save. And now you've got one for 1 hour before. If you wanted to have one go 1 day before the session, customize it to go out 1 day before the session. And then if you wanted to auto program your reminder to go 1 hour after the session, and it is after the session starts. So if you're running something that's sending out a replay, you might want to hold this to 2 hours after, and then just make sure that you've got that webinar replay link dynamic field in here. See, enjoy the content, see you at the webinar. So you've got all of that right here and all ready to go. Let's see, I think you can have up to 5. Nope, you can have more than 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can have a bunch of these. Okay, cool. You can have a bunch of those. All right. Next up is our live settings. And these are things that you can pre-program. So they are set and ready to go before you run in and do your webinar. So this will give you the ability to jump in and enjoy and send those on the fly. Polls and quizzes. Add a new poll. You're able to add your poll question. Now we have a poll question. If you want to connect your product to be sold during the webinar, you can go ahead and configure this right here. Name of the offer, the headline, the image that's associated with it, configure all of these components. This button can't be changed to be anything but green right now. The link, And then some of my favorite features. Do you want to have scarcity in this offer? Do you want to display how many are available? So this could be like a fast action bonus. And for the first 5 buyers of this program today, I'm going to give you a bonus one-on-one session with me at absolutely no cost. And then if you wanted to apply urgency in your offer, that would be a countdown timer that displays once you have sent the offer. This is something that says, hey, I'm only doing this for the next 10 minutes. And now if you want to take advantage of this offer in the next 10 minutes, I will offer you a complimentary ticket to my retreat that we're having in Georgia next spring. And it's all right there. Offer 1, headline. Let's pick an image in my image gallery. Quick configurations there. If I wanted to preload any videos that I wanted to display, so maybe we made a sizzle reel that we wanted to include, you can preload that here, and this just opens your video component. I'm just going to pick something that I have handy. If I wanted to be able to deploy any files immediately, you can have these available as well. They are also available and you can pull them from documents, images, or audio. So you could say, hey, thanks so much for showing up on our live session. Here's a digital download to our workbook for creating really amazing smoothies. And then if you wanted to preload your slides, you can do that here and upload your presentation, your document. Save all of your components before you move forward. All right, we're almost there. Do you want to send a replay link? Do not allow them to access the replay page or allow them to access the replay page. And then those are your choices there. Allow the replay or don't. And then once you have chosen yes, you can choose if you want that to be a replica, which is the exact version of what you did live, a custom video. Let's say we've done this webinar 13 times and there was one that really crushed it, and that's the one we want to send as the replay. You would be able to add that video as the replay that would go out to everyone. Or if you want to redirect to another page, let's say you've got this on YouTube afterwards, or you're putting it on a custom page, you can do that also. So we'll just keep this as a replica. Your choice of replay controls, whether you want them to be able to adjust the playback features, the stop, the pause, the rewind, move forward, or if you want them to be able to access those if this replay expires. And this gives you the ability to say, hey, how many hours after the live session does this expire? Completely up to you in what you set there. If your replay audience is allowed to submit questions, whether you want that activated or not activated, if you choose to have it activated, they will be forwarded to you through email so you can engage and respond to that they might have. All right, we're almost there. And then we'll see what this looks like on the live side. So once people register for the webinar, this is when they register. What tags do you want to be applied to them? At this point, you probably know how tags work, so I will save you that brevity. If you want them subscribed to any lists, do that here. If you want them subscribed to any sequences, do that here. And then if you want your advanced automations, and I do want to call attention to these automations because they're a little different than the automations that we see in other places. If lead registers to a webinar, this one, at whichever session, then do all of our standard things. Or if lead has been showing up on a webinar, I presume that to mean if lead shows up to the webinar, or if they don't show up to the webinar, if they watch the whole thing, or if they have not watched the whole webinar, and then the actions that you can take from there. It is important to know that if you want secondary automations here, you will need to build them in automation. So like if lead attended webinar and purchased fast action bonus, then do this thing. You can do those in automations and you can stack and layer automations from there. Okay, I told you we're almost done, and we're almost done. This is the link that you would send to your attendees so they can register for the webinar. This page looks like this. You cannot change that button green. I have asked. They've told me it's in the work. But this says, this is when it's coming and I can register. Webinar title, webinar description, hosted by me. It's every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Here's our information, first, last, and email. I can register now. That's fine. And then I am confirmed, and here is my webinar link. I can set a reminder from here. You also have this link so you can log into your live room when you're ready to go live. It's going to give you a quick reminder. It's going to run a test and it's going to give me crazy feedback. And we're in this room. It is important to know, and the first time I ran through this, I was like, wait a minute, nothing is happening. You have to push this button to go live. I missed it the first time I ran the demos. So this button to go live, you start the event, and then people can come into the room when they're in here. This part takes a little bit to get it up and going. We'll see how long it takes. I've been chatting for about 5 seconds since this started and expect it anytime now. I'm also really good at filling space. All right, so now at the bottom, we see that the You Are Live feature is live. We're the presenter. From here, we have the ability to turn our video off. We have the ability to turn our audio off. We can see the chat running on the other side. We have the settings, so we're allowing public and private messages. Now we're allowing both. Display the number of attendees in the room, yes or no. Attendees may request to speak, yes or no. It'll be important to know that if you're at a silver level, you only have one presenter, and that does count the people who want to speak. They won't be able. And then you can change the design. You can do this right here from your settings. Truthfully, I really wish that these were done in setup settings and not done that's something you have to do live or in your presenting. You've got your list of attendees, one no live and one is registered. So I know that I'm 0% here. The chat, from here, I'm able to start my poll. And then I can choose to publish my answers when they go live. I can edit this live. So if I want to say sugar was one of my breakfast options, I can just add that right here and watch the answers come in. Your audience will see this live on this. You've got your offer that you can go ahead and start, and we'll hit publish, and that publishes our offer. And this offer is only 10 minutes. So when we did that, it was all set up and ready to go. Your videos, if I wanted to play this video, it would play right in here. And I love that it gives you the little message that you might want to mute.
About the magic of the signature framework and how is it.
And then you can stop the video whenever you're ready. Add a file. My file didn't have any files uploaded, but if I did, they would be here. And then you can always upload them on the fly, your slides. And then if you had people who were raising their hand and attending, when you're all finished with your presentation, you can hit the end button. It ends the event and you have successfully run your webinar. It's great. It's fun. It's awesome. You'll get your analytics within your console in a little bit. Once your webinar is finished, webinar analytics, you can look at your visitor run, this was our test. This is how many people attended and watched the replay. And then you can also check in on your engagement here as well, how long they stayed, all of the things. So there we go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and looking at Kartra webinars. If you are brand new to Kartra and want to jump into your account, there is a link below for 3 months for $99. That is for a starter level plan that does not include webinars. And then you can also jump into my Facebook group, the community of Kartra users, where we do all things Kartra all the time. Have a really great day. I'll talk to you soon.